Hey YouTube, I'm Kenneth Ryan.
I'm Linz Resop.
And we're back with another exciting episode of Fanfiction Friday. We are returning this week with more Clockwork. We are picking up where we left off. That'll be chapter 16. If you're following along by reading on your own, I don't know. And this chapter looks like it starts with Silver, so Lindsay, take it away.
Okay. When Silver returned, the sun was hanging on the horizon, and Red and Gold looked up from where they were watching a football match on the TV. Pikachu playfully pawed at their sock-clad feet. Green was showering. Red grunted and... Is he singing Happy Birthday with jazz instruments? Green was showering. Red grunted and flicked his heel, sending Pikachu skidding, his little sharp claws clattering as he sought purchase in the beautifully waxed floorboards. What? Red snickered as Pikachu hit the far wall with a soft thump.
Did he kick the fucking cat?
Yes. Or he was, holding onto his foot, and then he, flicked it, and then he went sliding across the waxed floor.
Oh my
Into the wall. And he laughs. Red snickered as Pikachu hit the far wall with a soft thump. Standing, the little feline shook himself, fur haphazard, as he trotted back to try again. This time, totally missing his master's feet, landing with a splat and a hiss. Red stifled a chuckle, and Pikachu glowered at him, his rear uplifting as he readied to pounce again. Cats don't glower at people. Why is this cat a person?
I don't know.
Or a Pikachu, I suppose. But realism.
Whatever. What took you so long? We were so worried. Sorry, I spit on the screen. Gold cried, standing up, looking troubled.
Took a detour. Silver responded, dryly, shutting the door behind him swiftly.
Pretty long detour. Gold came over to Silver as the redhead put away his shoes and hung his jacket up. Gold coddled him, fussing over his ruffled hair and noticing his slightly red-rimmed eyes. Silver had to admit, Gold was quite the worrywart when it came to people he cared about. Maybe because his whole family burned in the fucking fire and he doesn't want to lose you because you'd, become his family by extension. Maybe, just maybe, that's what's going on here, Silver.
They're all pretty dense.
Yeah. Just the other day, when Green had gone to get some more orange juice, Red had yet again finished the last carton off, much to their annoyance, and had taken such a long time, Gold had nearly gone out to find him.
Hey, personal space? Silver pushed Gold away gently by planting his hands on the tawny-eyed male's strong, broad chest. Oh, God.
Oh, it's like I forgot what Gold looked like.
Gold rolled his easily and didn't move a single inch, stubborn as ever. Red didn't turn his head, but Silver caught how his blood-red eyes flickered over to them, amused, a small upward turn on his lips as he went back to watching the game. No matter how many times... parentheses, Red did that, it still was creepy. In fact, Red would be eternally creepy. In a good way. Well, he meant that in a positive way. Silver peered round Gold's powerful frame and gestured to the screen.
Who's on?
No, that's me.
Oh.
Who's on?
Wait, oh,
yeah,
Silver.
Silver is gesturing around your powerful frame. Look at this powerful frame here.
These broad, manly shoulders. Sorry. Yes. All right, who responds? Is this Red or is this Gold? I don't fucking know.
Gold.
Hoenn Fortree against Johto Cinnabar Island. Silver blinked. He never knew Cinnabar Island had a team now. Gold seemed to catch on to this. Yeah, Red told me it was... Fuck. Yeah, Red told me it was only a few years ago they actually got one. Crazy, right? Stuff changes quickly nowadays. Gold tried to watch... Yeah. Gold turned to watch for a bit, cheering as Cinnabar Island scored, however, was given a yellow card. Gold scowled and Red grunted, clearly unhappy about the biased referee who turned out to be from Hoenn. Who's yelling? Oh. God, I have to pretend like I'm into sports.
Who else would be yelling?
What? Dude, ref, that was clearly not a foul, come on! You saw that it went in and that he was nowhere near the other guy. Oh, fine, resume play. What a beautiful slide tackle. Yo, Red, you see that? Beautiful. Seriously, those guys are wizards.
Uh-huh.
Gold held up his hand, and Red, who caught on, after staring after a few seconds, air high five Gold. Oh, It's not
Because
real.
he's over on the couch and he's like, high five.
Grinning, Silver turned to go into the kitchen to find out what was for dinner. Green usually prepared half the ingredients before showering and continued after dinner. You think he would just shower
Why
after
would-
dinner because he
yeah.
sweats so much?
Because it's a really hot
Whatever.
kitchen.
As he did so, he caught the screen again, watching as Fortree in green and blue kit with a pine album and
Pine tree
Cinnabar,
emblem.
whatever, and Cinnabar Island in red and gray with a volcano emblem battled it out over the black and white spotted ball emblazoned with the
Yeah,
sponsors'
football
names.
is in soccer because they're British.
Their shirts and shorts mud spattered. Gold followed him into the kitchen. Hey, Gold muttered, looking at him closely. Silver rubbed at his temples as he surveyed the neatly laid out ingredients. It seemed Green was going to do something with prawns tonight. Prawns? As well as rice and ginger. Gold reached out to brush a lock of hair out of the silvery-eyed teen's face carefully. What color are your eyes?
I don't know.
What color's your hair?
Oh, my hair. Oh, God.
What color are you? Silver, are you all right?
Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. Silver replied, but Gold didn't look convinced because that was clearly so convincing.
Yeah.
He crossed his arms and surveyed his bedmate with a degree of what blatantly said, I can smell bullshit a mile away, and right now you're bullshitting like crazy.
Like crooked?
No, it's fine.
Like,
I mean, I'm sitting kind of sideways.
like it looks...
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
It is a look that said, blatantly, I can smell bullshit a mile away, and right now you're bullshitting like crazy. Silver quickly looked away, unable to meet his gaze properly. Gold was just too damn observant for his own good. But that didn't mean it was a bad thing.
Okay.
Too observant for his own good. Okay, whatever. If anything, Silver was glad Gold had picked up on his bad vibes. Gold flicked a few crumbs off the kitchen island counter surface, his expression gentle.
I can tell something shook you today. If it was about this morning and me intruding on your personal space, I'm sorry. Silver shook his head, giving his roommate a crooked smile. Hey, we read a fic called Crooked Smile. It was really good.
Yes, we did.
Check out the Fanfiction Friday episode, Crooked Smiles. It's really good.
Which one was Crooked Smile?
That was the 2 links.
Oh,
And the person was high, and it was super consenty. It was so good.
yeah.
Gold glanced out the kitchen as cheers erupted from the television, signifying another well-scored goal as the channel reporter
Vio and
replayed the shot.
Shadow guy.
The commentators beside themselves with excitement. Silver sighed and took a step back.
No, it's not you, Gold. It's never been you.
Then, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, totally.
Silver was about to say no, but decided this time, okay. He nodded. Gold motioned to their room. As they went, Gold looked over at Red, who peered back forlornly, understanding his TV buddy was leaving him now. Pikachu still gambling
Leaving
on
him
his
alone.
feet, his bottle brush tail fluffed and held aloft. Gold gave Red a sheepish smile as the scarlet-eyed man picked up Pikachu to tickle the fat kitten under the chin playfully.
Yes, the kitten is fat, we know.
The fuzzy feline purred loudly, closing his eyes luxuriously as he enjoyed the sensation of being adored and pampered. Gold scratched his ear. Sorry, bro. Silver wants to talk about something private. Tell me about the match later, yeah? Red, who seemed to fully understand, nodded, setting the squirming Pikachu down again, and happily went back to watching the match, wiggling his toes every time Pikachu pounced on his foot. The two went back to their shared room, and Gold shut the door as Silver sat down on the tiny boxy bed with a soft groan. Gold pulled up the desk chair, turning it round so he could sit with it the back in front of him so he could rest his head and arms on the backrest. Ooh, shit's getting real. He's sitting backwards.
Uh-huh.
So what happened, son? Bad day? Got bullied? I swear, if it was bullies, I'll beat them to next Sunday. I'm sorry, my stomach is growling. I'm so sorry if the microphone's picking this up.
You want food.
Gold looked so serious, Silver couldn't help but snort a bit, and Gold blinked at him, looking surprised. Silver felt the short-lasting humor leave him.
How my mother was suicidal and killed herself. Well, she didn't kill herself.
She was murdered by acupuncture.
Which we knew. Well, which he knew.
Yeah. We didn't know that, though.
But it was arranged marriage and...
Oh, it was shitty. Silver felt the short-lasting humor leave him instantly, and everything was gray again, colorless and sad, as if stained by photo-developing pigments, which turned various shades of gray in the dark room. Yet amongst the sea of neutral tones, Gold stuck out as a digital color in HD. He was still burning brightly, a welcome presence in his opinion. Silver decided tomorrow, during group session, he would talk to Giovanni on his family issues and why he became so hateful of the world, and why he wanted to self-harm so much back then to Green. Right now, it was different. I'll get to this. Right now, he wouldn't give a flying fuck. Right now, well, today it was just him and Gold. Wait. Silver tried to rephrase that, but found the end, it was what it was. It would always just come down to him and Gold. It had always been Gold. Silver rubbed at his temples for a while, trying to figure out how to explain short and sweetly. He got in a sudden spark of genius and looked at Gold. And looked up at Gold and muttered,
Agatha.
That woman! Gold's voice had taken on a quiet, harsh tone, filled with malice. Silver had heard all about Gold's little episode previously with the hag, and how she had broken him down so easily. Silver looked up again to meet Gold's penetrating, warm, blazing amber gaze. Fuck off!
Penetrating, warm, blazing amber gaze.
Fuck off with the descriptions of the eyes. I get it, he has gold eyes. I get it. I know, I haven't forgotten. He found it comforting that Gold was waiting so patiently to listen carefully to him. It was heartwarming, and dare he say, gave him a funny tingling in his stomach. You're in love, bitch.
Yeah.
As if he had captured billions of butterflies and stored them in his chest. Oh, he has legitimate butterflies. Oh my god, you're in love. Now they frantically beat their multicolored jewel-like wings.
Why are they multicolored and jewel-like?
Desperate to escape, like his lips aching to form words that he himself did not understand. He wanted to understand them, but until he did, he couldn't say them. Silver waited until Gold had calmed down before continuing, watching how the cords stood out in sharp relief under Gold's tanned skin, displaying the power Bruno had bestowed much love upon, and found it really wasn't hard to believe that this young man could demolish fucking buildings with his bare hands if he wanted to, when in a blind rage.
Yes, we've established that Silver is gonna bottom when they have sex. We've figured this out.
Pretty much. Silver ran a hand over his face, rubbing his forehead, then under his nose, wondering where to start, so he fiddled with a lock of his hair instead, unsure how to start.
She found me, and well, she gave me a wake-up call. Turns out she was my wet nurse from day one, and...
She was what? Gold was beside himself, staring at the redhead in horror.
I mean, it's weird that she was a nurse.
And yet, he found it hilarious. Agatha nursing Silver? What? The very thought was repulsive and just downright depressing. It really well and truly was a dreadful concept, and Gold found he pitied the redhead for his hopeless childhood. Spluttering, Gold waved his hand about as if to try understanding it. All his expression torn.
Understanding it all. His expression torn totally between wanting to laugh at Silver's demise or to look upset for his misfortunes. Silver really had shitty karma. Opting for a watered-down version of distress mixed with a smile, more like a positive grimace in his opinion, or if Red were to be here to witness, it would describe... If Red were here to witness it.
Would describe it more a cheerful constipation. Gold found his voice. Ay, 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 that was a rough sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, Silver. Oh, sorry. I'm just reading. Okay, Silver. Could you repeat that, please? Silver gave him a look that suggested he knew Gold had heard and was asking him to say it again to be difficult. He repeated it anyways, just because the other male had asked so nicely. Gold looked mind-blown, his mouth hanging slightly. Even such a
Gormless.
What does that mean?
It's dumb. I don't know.
Okay, even such a gormless expression, or such a vacant expression looked good on Gold's face.
You're a little bitch. Like Kenny said.
He stared openly at Silver, as if unable to believe it. Silver blushed under the scrutiny and turned away, picking at the bed covers. It was so weird having Gold care so much.
He's cared for like 17 chapters.
Like, really weird.
We're only 16 chapters in,
but he's cared
for 17
right?
chapters.
Oh, God. Like, really weird. Sure, Gold had cared before, but that was in the face of sucking up to Green and being the better
wasn't.
man. This time it was genuine, straight from the heart, and pure Gold. Something Gold was so damn good at. Gold chewed on his thumbnail cuticle as he thought, "Wow, that sucks, dude. I'd try to kill myself too if I had her watching me over me 24/7 when I was a kid." Gold slumped forwards against the chair back, flicking his dark fringe out of his face, which slanted over one of his hawk-like eyes with a jerking toss of his head. Silver found the movement quite attractive, cocky, and 100% gold. Pulling himself together, Silver began again.
She told me how my mother, my real mother, died to protect me from my father. He killed her to keep me alive because I was a pathetic excuse for a heir of Team Rocket. Silver whispered, and Gold looked angry. A huge and rapid transition from the relaxed expression he held before.
Sorry. That's fucking sick. Silver said nothing. Gold looked more upset than angry. That really is fucking sick. Who tries to kill their own son just because he isn't good enough? Silver shook his head. Gold didn't understand.
No, my mother was forced into an arranged marriage to marry Giovanni. My father, she never wanted it, and failed to die twice. He raped her, and I was the result, but not the result he wanted. So he tried to kill me, but she told him to spare me and give me a chance. He killed her instead. Gold looked distraught. Immediately, he stood up, pushing aside the hard wooden chair, and swept Silver up into a crushing, tight, warm hug that was nothing else but just Gold. Heart hammering and his cheeks blazing, Silver buried his face into Gold's shoulder. I can't. One second, my hair got in my face. Where was I?
What are we doing?
I don't know. Feeling helpless and surprisingly found he didn't hate it as much as he should have. Why would you hate it? You've established you love him so fucking much. It was a close embrace that should have been restricted in how intimate it felt. Silver worried that Gold could... One second, my elbow.
I know, your elbow's right in my armpit. It kind of hurt.
That was my shoulder. I need to get my elbow under me to support my weight better. Silver, worried that Gold could feel the heat of his blush radiating off him, tried to push him away, but Gold held on to him.
"Please don't fight me. Just this once. Silver, this is okay, right?" Silver shivered into the taller teen. Oh my god, is Gold taller and stronger than Silver? Is Gold like this amazing human being that is like godlike in everyone's eyes? Oh my god, ode to Gold.
Yeah.
His solid form comforting. Gold slid his hand through Silver's thick, long, dark red hair, almost crushing the smaller teen to him. Silver had no idea what brought this on, but didn't say anything, enjoying the moment. That's what they had all been telling him, right? Crystal, Pearl, Bruno, and N. They had all been urging him to enjoy the moment and grasp whatever opportunities he could. Silver didn't know about Gold, but there was something about this hug that made it a bit awkward to him. Maybe it was because Gold was totally fine with the action and was ready for whatever the world threw at him, and in retrospect, he wasn't ready. Silver shoved that aside. Of course he wasn't ready.
Of course he was ready.
Oh, of course he was ready. Ready for this, at least. Hugs weren't so bad, right? Silver tentatively raised his arms around Gold's strong frame. Feeling and hearing the heavy, relaxed, rhythmic heartbeat, his own racing, pulsing. Silver swore that Gold could feel his own heart thudding frantically, as if it tried desperately to beat out of his chest. Gold smelt like sunlight, cedar, and a dark note of musky maple.
No one smells like these things.
You smell like the sunlight.
Books say like, oh, they smell like all these things like cedar and blah blah blah. It's like people don't smell like that. A human does not smell like a fucking tree.
He smells like the sun.
Or the sun.
Silver felt like he couldn't breathe or stand right as his knees shook. Oh my god, this is a Titania moment. Let's walk down some stairs.
Yeah.
He had never been good at being weak. It made him physically ill and shaky. Gold right now was turning him into a nervous wreck, and strangely enough, he wasn't doing anything about it. He wasn't backing away. He wasn't swearing or hissing or fighting. As ridiculously pathetic and feminine, that's italicized, so you know
that's sexist.
It needs to be stressed, as it
that's
was.
Sexist.
So you're pretty much Silver minus the sexism.
Yeah.
Silver knew he wouldn't have it any other way. Gold said nothing, content with holding the redhead, gently stroking his hair. It's going to get better, Silver. I promise.
I know, Gold.
You're going to grow soon. You're going to change and turn into someone better. Someone worth it. Someone worth knowing.
You're
someone...
saying he's not already worth knowing?
He's trying his best. Someone who people will know. Fuck. And not because of your father, for your family, but for a better reason. Silver wasn't sure of this. His growth as a person seemed to have expanded to the point where he was comfortable with others and himself, but not much else. Gold seemed to be insinuating that he would become more, not just another person, that he would become a leader, a head figure who people looked up to, a role model, and perhaps even a father figure. Silver grimaced. He couldn't imagine himself being a very good father at all. If anything, he was afraid he would do something wrong and ruin his child's life because of him and his lack of experience of having a true father or parent of any kind to give him nothing to base his own attempts on. Gold pulled away slightly to look down at him, and Silver shied away. Is that shied? Yeah.
Yeah, shied.
Not wanting to meet his gaze, which he knew was going to be everything he knew it would be. Warm, gentle, maybe even loving. Gold seemed to catch himself, stopping himself as if the words he had meant to say weren't for the smaller teen he held in his arms just yet. Silver looked up sharply to meet that golden look. It was all he had imagined and so much more. The look was much more intense and powerful than he would ever dream of. Silver wanted to say something meaningful, too, but he decided there would be other moments, other times where he would be braver, and he was right now. When he was ready, in fact, when he felt ready, and when the time was right, he knew he would find that meaningful thing he wanted to tell Gold so desperately. Silver knew how it felt, but unfortunately it was hard to tell someone else how you felt when you had no idea how to express it. Silver, muted, couldn't tear his own pale, silvery gray eyes away from the darkened, bright, clear amber of
silvery
Gold's.
Gray and amber and
darkened, bright, clear amber.
His own pale, silvery gray away from the darkened, bright, clear amber. How can it be darkened and bright?
That is hot ice and wondrous, strange snow. I'm learning those lines.
Clear amber of Gold. Sorry, Silver choked out, letting go of Gold and his warmth, stepping back. Gold looked abashed, did so as well, placing a good 2 feet in between them.
Should not be cracking my knuckles right in front of the microphone.
Yeah. The two didn't know what to do now that the atmosphere had staled slightly, and it was a little bit awkward. Gold coughed lightly and reached out to gingerly pat Silver on the back.
It'll work out. You'll see. Silver settled for a non-committal shrug, avoiding eye contact yet again. He did this because he knew Gold could read him openly like a book if their eyes met. He wanted to keep himself to himself for now. I'll see you later, I guess. Gold gave him a crooked smile before leaving the room.
Yeah, okay.
Closing the door behind him, he politely, with a soft click. Silver sat back down on the boxy bed in a daze. He stared aimlessly off into space for several heartbeats, digesting what had just happened before burying his face in his hands. His heart was still racing. His cheeks were still blazing. He wanted. What did he want? Silver kicked himself hard and flung himself sideways on the bed to lie there staring at the closed door.
Shit. I'm sorry, Gold. Page break,
Line
but
break.
because it's my character, I get to start. Yay.
Oh, yes. Do you remember the voice?
I think she's just like, I'm going to adopt Ruby.
Yes, she is. Good.
Foreheads swung, as if perfectly rehearsed, over to the pretty brunette lady, mouths in various stages of dropping open. Yeah.
This is
finally.
I'm so happy.
She finally has enough money to have an apartment and
like,
stuff.
part of me was like, I knew this was going to happen, and I'm so... Honestly, this is like the best news I've gotten this whole fic. I'm so happy.
Brunette mouths in various stages of dropping open. Silver swore Red was exaggerating his jaw drop. He looked as if he was ready to unhinge his jaw like a snake and start swallowing objects whole. Green elbowed Red gently, as if to remind him to be polite. Blue fidgeted slightly under the attention she was receiving, but Ruby patted her on the hip lovingly, and she relaxed and smiled at them all. Red closed his flapping jaw and bowed his head in congratulations, and Green was beside himself, torn between jumping up and hugging her or gushing congratulations. In the end, the psychologist opted for both. Oh god, how do I do this now?
Oh, Blue.
My husband Dave! Oh, Blue, my darling, come here! Congrats! Really, oh, I must take you out for dinner to celebrate. All of us, the whole group! That was bad.
It's fine.
A chorus of yeses met his ears, and a handsome young man smiled happily. Sweeping over, Green pulled the lady and the albino child. I'm hugging 3 of my characters.
You're just hugging yourself.
Into a hug. Ruby, not really taking well to the impromptu embrace, wriggled and let out a screech. Green released the two, chuckling as Blue turned to the pink-eyed, white-haired little boy to scold him lightly. Yes, that's what albino means.
Yep.
Ruby, however, wasn't listening as he met Gold's eye across the room and gave him a sneaky wink. Silver had a feeling the two were plotting. Blue waved Green away, smiling happily, her dark blue eyes alight with happiness, petting Ruby's pale hair gently. I'm not afraid anymore. That was bad. She said clearly, and Green whipped out his furry notebook. His furry notebook. Scribbling down notes like a hurricane had possessed him. Red was watching the emerald-eyed male fondly as Green chewed the end of his pencil before quickly scratching out something from a previous entry in the book and replacing it. Green looked up at the woman. What do you mean you aren't afraid anymore?
I can feel your voice, like, vibrating through your body, like your arm. I, like, feel it.
Nice. I feel like I've let the frightened little girl who took over my life for the past few years has gone too far. What? I feel like I've let the frightened little girl who took over my life for the past few years has gone too far.
I feel like...
Like, shouldn't be in there, or, like, the frightened little girl who's taken over my life has gone too far?
I feel like the frightened little girl who took over... I feel like letting the frightened little girl...
It should be either I feel like the frightened little girl who took over my life for the past few years has gone too far, or
yes.
I feel like I've let the frightened little girl who took over my life for the past few years go too far. Or something like that. I felt like it was time to shut her down. I'm back, Green. I really think I'm coming back now. Blue smiled. She looked much healthier, happier, and stronger, and Silver could just see the strength and positive aura. Oh, that's that one movie, Pokemon. Haha. Aura.
Zorua.
No, with like...
Lucario.
Yes, that one.
Bounce.
Radiating off the beautiful woman. Green wiped at his eyes surreptitiously. He had spoken to Blue many times over the phone for oral sessions. Oral should be O, not AU. Rather than face-to-face, seeing as she had still been uncomfortable with men at the time. She'd been improving greatly, and it seemed like Green had said... Only she could take that final step into returning to who she was and much more. She was empowered and truly amazing. Green hugged her again. Honey, I am thrilled! No, really, you pulled through. At one point, I was wondering if I could ever bring you back, but I'm honestly over the moon. Green sat down and ran a hand through his hair and motioned her to continue. Yeah, a hand through my hair. Oh, God, I'm such a diva.
Green. Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd still like you to come to sessions every so often, once a week or once every 2 weeks, just so I can check up on you. This sort of explosive recovery is incredible. My God, only weeks ago you would still be shy and easily distressed. If I may ask, could you tell me how you realized you wanted to change? This already hurts. Blue thought for a bit, and Ruby, Silver noticed, had scrambled over to Gold and was perched on his shoulders. His large pink eyes owlish, his expression gleeful. Silver had a feeling he was going to get hit by a rubber band soon. Great. Red seemed to be sniffing trouble as he too noticed Ruby's absence next to his to-be foster mother and his current situation on Gold's shoulders. Silver flinched as something stung his ear. He noticed a small bit of paper near him. He picked it up and flung Gold a dirty look, intending to toss it back when Green wasn't looking. Gold, however, mimed for him to open it. Silver did so, unfolding the tightly wadded ball. It read, Hey jerk, I was wondering after the session, later on tonight, if you'd meet me up on the roof. I have something I want to show you. Be there, 9 p.m.
Penis!
Yeah. Silver looked back at his roommate and feigned confusion. A slight frown on his face. The face Gold made was adorable, a mix between begging and hopeful. Silver nodded slightly, just catching the dark-haired teen's delighted expression before turning back to tune into Blue, who was responding to Green's earlier question. Green was busy trying to find his pencil sharpener. I thought about everything you told me, and about adopting Ruby, and I had a chat with my cousin. Well, she's from Unova, a week ago, and
White.
she gave...
Her name is White.
Okay. White. She's from Unova. White and black. Is she related?
Maybe.
A week ago, and she gave me a lecture of my life. I know you gave me some pretty harsh sessions, but this was. Anyway, she made me think some more about my life. Did I really want to be a frightened little girl until I died? What about the old me? So I went to visit Ruby and talked to Mr. Birch, and he told me how he remembered when I was happy and just married. Green nodded, his pencil now sharpened, as he turned to a new page to continue scribbling furiously. Silver could see Gold muttering something to Ruby, who was wriggling restlessly. Silver shot Gold a glare, and Gold pouted. The look was ridiculous on his features, and Silver suppressed a snort. Red had closed his eyes, patiently waiting for the session to continue after the one-on-ones, his expression serene and calm. Blue paused, trying to pull herself together, as she remembered how happy she had been to get married. That was the trigger of my problems, and I realized this was where I needed to solve it. So out came the old photo albums, and I burnt everything that reminded me of all the bad relationships I've ever had. I threw away the name list for babies I never could have, and I just opened the windows and let the bad memories fly out. It sounds stupid, but you were right, Green. It wasn't a physical thing anymore. That trauma is long gone. It was my inability to psychologically let go. Once I decided to adopt Ruby, I decided, to hell with it. I wanted to become me again, so I signed up for gym classes. Blue smiled and waved over at Gold, who caught it the last second and gave her a cheerful smile. Ruby chirped brightly and waved fervently as well. And I met that young man in the boxing section. He was very happy to teach me. Is it gonna be Bruno or Gold? No, it'd be funny if it was Bruno.
That young man.
I know
motions.
she's talking about Gold, but still.
Bruno.
She should meet Bruno in the boxing section, and they should get together. Green looked at Gold astonished, as if to say, "You what? You what?" Gold reached up to bat away Ruby's offending hands, who were tugging on his hair slightly. Ruby chattered at him softly. I don't know chattering. I don't know what chattering is.
I don't know either.
Forbidden!
I am like just sliding. I'm
softly,
so sorry.
yeah, me too. Softly
I have
annoyance
to
that his fun was being disrupted, deciding to poke at Gold's ears instead. This is Gold.
Yeah, Blue just came up to me and said, "Can you teach me how to hit stuff?" Hey, don't deny it. Hey, don't deny it. You said very clearly, hit stuff. Blue looked slightly embarrassed at the basic use of words. So I said yes. I guess because I'm such a regular, people keep assuming I'm a personal trainer of some kind. Even the gym manager has started paying me. Don't think that happens, but maybe.
I mean, maybe.
Gold chuckled, finding his moonlighting of jobs immensely funny, which it kind of was. Silver was actually secretly amazed that Gold had such problems with people before. Gold, who had such problems with people before, and was so aggressive to them, was in fact very popular and knew how to interact and socialize to such a level that anyone could approach him and they would get along so well. Blue nodded, thanking Gold softly for allowing in his own personal time to teach her how to keep fit and learn a form of self-defense. Gold merely shook his head and thanked her for being such an excellent student.
Once I finished my spring cleaning, let's say, I felt better. Like I'd removed a huge, heavy, dead weight off my chest. I felt for once so good about myself. Wow, wind. It was an amazing experience, and I can't thank you enough, Green. Without you, I would have never broken free from this rut. I was my own enemy, and you helped me defeat her. Okay. Green shook his head, and Red spoke up.
Green advised you. You overcame yourself. You did it by yourself. You should be proud. Blue nodded, unable to stop from smiling
Red
hugely.
like?
Yeah, it's just my voice. Red dipped his head respectfully to her, and Green, then, from where Silver could see, scrolled a big "solved" across Blue's bio page.
Solved.
He even added a huge smiley face before turning to Ruby's page and repeating the same. Ruby clapped his hands excitable, as always, before shrieking as he nearly fell off Gold's strong shoulders.
Strong.
Hey, don't forget you're still up there, Gold chided, grabbing onto Ruby's legs and hoisting him over his head to dangle the albino child upside down. Ruby squealed excitedly as Gold carefully swung him about before turning him the right way up and tossing him up into the air. I am so sorry, I'm having trouble reading. I didn't go to bed till 4 a.m., so I'm not okay. Anyways, catching him round the waist, Gold prodded Ruby in his pale stomach, the pink-eyed child giggling and grabbing at Gold's nose. Gold managed to avoid the attack.
Gross! Gold snorted as Ruby stuck his little pale tongue out. Laughing, Gold kissed Ruby on the head. No. It was a heartwarming thing to watch, and Blue, Silver, along with the psychologist, and Red watched him smiling. Why couldn't they stick Green in there instead of along with the psychologist? And Red watched smiling. And Green ending up in tears again. Gold held the child at arm's length as Ruby flailed, not liking the gesture of the kiss. Gold hugged Ruby patting Gold on the cheek clumsily.
I'm going to miss you, little guy, Gold mumbled, knowing this would be the last time he would truly get to see Ruby for a long time. Ruby, somehow understanding the solemn situation, quieted.
That's a weird word. Still see you! He chirped, and Gold didn't say anything, resting his head on top of the albino little boy's carefully as he held him.
Yeah, but not like this anymore. You're cured! You're free to go! No more doctor!
How is he cured? He's getting adopted? That doesn't mean his issues are just suddenly...
Why are they writing out Ruby and Blue? I actually like their...
Sick? 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 More Toad, less... I don't know. Ruby looked at Gold, tilting his head to one side, inquisitive as ever. Gold smiled sadly and nodded. Ruby seemed to pause, his white hair fluffing out as he shook his head, seemingly in disbelief. Gold let out a quiet sigh, and Silver was shocked to hear it was a sad, defeated sigh.
Yeah, I'm still sick. Gold glanced back at Silver, and the redhead frowned slightly, unsure of what Gold meant by that. The eagle-eyed male turned back to the child he held. Ruby wiggled, asking where and why Gold was sick. Green, through his happy tears, was frantically tearing through the pages of his fuzzy notebook to record the scenario occurring. I'm sick here, Gold said, taking Ruby's tiny hand in his large, tan, strong one and pressing the white little hand to his chest over his heart. I'm sick here. Ruby looked sad as he patted Gold over his heart.
Brother loves someone? Gold speechless. Suddenly smiled and ruffled Ruby's hair affectionately, amazed that Ruby had caught on so quickly.
What the fuck?
She lied.
Yeah.
Lovesick.
Ruby squealed, his eyes wide. No way his big brother, who was so cool, daring, and amazing, couldn't be in love. Not something like that. Never something so icky and gross. Girls had cooties.
It's not a
Didn't
girl.
his brother know girls had cooties? Ruby felt like this was the end of the whole world.
It's not a girl.
Panicking, Ruby tugged on Gold's shirt, his eyes wide.
It's running! Girls have cooties! Ruby screeched before looking over at Blue apologetically. Blue pretended to look offended, but ended up laughing. Gold grinned down at his partner in crime.
I know.
Then why?
Stomach.
Ruby whispered, his eyes wider, jittering in Gold's arms as he struggled to make his brother see that love was gross and made you all fluttery and girly like in those cartoons.
This is so sexist.
But it's a child, so I guess.
Still problematic behavior in
true.
youth.
Teach your children better. Gold ruffled Ruby's pale hair in amusement.
Because...
Plus, it's not a girl anymore.
Well, it happens to everyone. Even you.
No! I won't be in love! Because girls have cooties! I told Sapphire! Told her I wouldn't marry her because she had cooties! It's Brendan. I also promised Wally I would marry him when we grew up bigger.
Everyone in this goddamn fic is gay, and it's cool and shit, but
unrealistic.
Yeah, you don't know that. I don't know that many
Ruby
gay
hurts my throat,
people.
too,
I don't know. Do you know that many gay people? Maybe.
I don't know, a couple.
Whatever.
Gold shook his head in amazement and patted Ruby on the head, who chirruped in pleasure, reaching up to grab the tawny-eyed male's wrist.
That's great. You have your love life figured out with whoever Wally is. Me, not so much. It's hard for Big Brother. The person Big Brother's...
He's admitting his love through...
The person Big
through
Brother likes is... Silver felt like he didn't want to hear
cliche.
how amazing this person Gold liked was. He knew he was jealous, but why he didn't know. It was that ravenous, brutal, and savage monster seething in his gut again, like that time when Gold had come back pissed drunk. It was back with vengeance and seemingly determined to make him explode with anger. All Silver knew was he didn't want to know. Excusing himself, the redhead went off to the bathroom. Gold noticed his roommates leaving, a jolt of disappointment slicing through him, and he paused, but Ruby pinched him, jerking him back into the present. Ouch, you little rascal!
What? Ruby questioned, and the stocky teen resumed, remembering he had to answer the child.
Well, the person Big Brother likes is beautiful, moody, crazy, funny, irresistible, incredible, and more human than I could ever have imagined. And lately, Big Brother has a hard time keeping this person out of his head. Gold trailed off, unsure. He could see Red totally leering at him from across the room, his expression knowing and hugely smug. Even Blue seemed to have caught on. Well, you said moody. There's only one moody bitch in this group.
Yeah.
You gave it away there. Seemed to have caught on, a sparkle dancing in her eye. Only Green was oblivious as ever, still taking hasty notes, and had not noticed anything yet. Ruby looked up at Gold, smiling.
This is Ruby. Even though he's still talking about Big Brother in Green. I mean, Gold is talking third person.
Yeah.
Big Brother loves this person very much! I want to be happy, so I'll make a wish! Oh. Ruby closed his eyes and clasped his hands together. Gold stared down at the little albino child and closed his eyes, shaking with silent mirth. Blue and Red met each other's gazes and nodded, fully understanding the situation. Green, emerging from his notes, just caught the exchange, and poking Red quietly demanded what he had missed. What had he missed? The scarlet-eyed male, however, smiled mysteriously and said nothing. Green pouted and whacked his partner with his furry notebook in response. Ruby opened his eyes, eyed, and made a funny, fast, and random waving motion with his hands. Done! If my wish works, you'll be with this person forever! Thanking the... This, is tearing it apart. Okay. Thanking the albino child, Gold tossed him up into the air once more. Ruby, giggling. The whole time.
Fuck!
Before passing the excited little boy back to Blue, who thanked Gold. Tickling her soon-to-be adopted son on the nose, she settled back down in her chair. Silver, with impeccable timing as ever, returned to find the whole room staring at him, save Gold, who was sat determinedly in his chair, chin resting on a palm of his hand, resolutely staring at the wall. What? Silver began to ask, before he was blown back by a blur of brown curls and a flip of a short skirt. You want to be white? Staggering and regaining his footing, scowling, Silver saw the cause of his upset.
Is this White?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Cousin.
Ah, what's a good voice for White? Blue! A young woman in a short denim fur-lined skirt.
Ew.
Yeah. And a black tank top with long brown curly hair and a high ponytail swept in to smother Blue in a tight hug. Blue just as bemused and startled as the redhead, and flustered tried to make heads and tails of the newcomer who had just blown in. Oh, Blue! Blue! Oh, Blue! 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 My darling baby little sister cousin baby! Darling, how are you? The strange woman fussed over Blue, lifting her hair here and there, peering into her face, inspecting her clothes, and lighting up in delight as she spotted Ruby. Oh, isn't he gorgeous? She squealed, picking the albino boy up and cuddling him. Ruby hissed. Green stood up, looking confused.
Oh god, more green. Excuse me, but may I ask, who are you? Setting Ruby down, Ruby skittered over to Gold. The woman
Okay.
beamed at Green and marched forwards to shake his hands, both of them to be exact, and very energetically. Green, now ruffled, extracted himself from such a boisterous human being, adjusted his lab coat as the woman, after hugging Blue again, turned to address them all, her voice strong and peppy, but held authority. That sentence is weird. Silver rubbed his shoulder. She noticed and sent him an apologetic look. Sorry, she mouthed, and then looked at them all brightly.
I am Toko White. Please call me White. I am Blue's older cousin, and she's my darling little one. I come from Unova, and I work with the Global Trading Union
for the trees.
and the League as an undercover agent.
Why are you telling them this?
Ruby perked up at this seemingly...
You're an undercover agent.
I guess we're at the end. Ruby perked up at this seemingly forgiving the new lady who had so rudely barged in and hugged his mother. He crept forwards from his sanctuary with Gold.
Agent? You're a secret agent? Like a spy? Ruby made a few shooting noises. Pew, pew, pew! And formed a gun with his hand. Laughing, White knelt down to pat him on the head. Ruby did not hiss this time, too interested in the new lady to bother acting hostile.
Yeah, something like that, little one. Ruby looked thunderstruck. He quickly looked back at Gold.
So cool! Like my big brother! Ruby tugged on White's hand. Do you have a badge? He asked, curious, and White reached into her back pocket to pull out the sleek badge attached to her wallet. Ruby stared in awe. He reached out before remembering his manners. White smiled encouragingly, and the albino little boy quickly poked the badge before scuttling off to hide behind Blue, who placed a hand on his head. Green tossed his fuzzy notebook onto the desk and turned to them all as he gazed round the room. He could see everyone had lost focus. He cleared his throat, gaining his client's attention effectively. Since upon Mrs. White's arrival, it seems group session will have to be put on hold. How about a celebratory lunch? He was met with enthusiasm. Going from Ruby to Green is painful, too. Smiling, Green took off his coat to hang it on the peg on the back of the door. As they filed out, Gold with Ruby riding on his shoulders and an arm round Silver's shoulders, who was slightly pink with embarrassment, Red behind and Blue holding hands with White, Green caught up to the agent after locking his office. This is Green?
Green.
Is this about the World Tournament, White? White nodded as Blue engaged in friendly conversation with Red. Green paused and looked out the window before continuing. I see. But after I noticed your badge, some of your degree, you aren't here only to complete such a bog standard mission. It's something else, isn't it? This is now. White nodded. Green sighed and checked his watch. If it was about the security and escorts for the tournament, this would mean a lot of paperwork, especially if he was participating as a representative. The World Tournament was in about a month's time.
And that's that chapter.
Is this like the martial arts tournament or whatever it was?
Ooh. Alright, we're not fitting in another chapter. I'm just looking it over. That's not happening. Sorry, guys. But
it's like really rounded. It's weird.
It looks nice. It's aesthetically pleasing. Alright, I'm gonna readjust. That's the chapter. Thank you guys for tuning in for that.
Thoughts?
That chapter was very Blue Ruby heavy, but it was cute because I was really like banking on, since I like first met them, the two of them, you know, she would adopt him, and I was really, 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 really banking on that. And since it happened, I'm very happy. It's really interesting because like every time I feel like I talk about this, I'm always like, yeah, so this is the serious shit that happened in the fic, and I really, really like it, even though I'm reading it with the stupidest voices ever. Yeah.
Just like a general disclaimer, a lot of things that happen that are bad in these fics we don't react to as being all that terrible, even though they are terrible. Because
we're so desensitized.
Because there's not really time to get into all of our
feminist
thoughts.
Discussions. And also with a fic as long as this one, like, I mean, we have thoughts about every chapter, and then there's going to be the overall thoughts at the end, and it's like, there's just so much that happens, and I don't know. There's like way too much for us to. We could almost have a separate show where all we do is just talk about what we thought
Because it was
about
the whole thing in
the
like
show,
the last
like
chapter
the
where it's like, oh, his mother was raped, and it's like we just didn't really respond to that at all.
Honestly, the whole rape thing got ruined for me by Red Green A Sad Secret because the way they handled that was so terrible.
Yeah.
And like I don't think I can see a worse way of handling that situation. So it's like even the way it was handled in this, which it wasn't handled, she literally suffered with that guilt and then she was murdered, like
Yeah.
whatever. But I don't know.
Like whatever.
I don't mean it as in like whatever
I know
rape
what
is
you
whatever.
mean.
I mean it as like
I know what you mean.
in reference to this fic, it's like it's better than the worst I've seen, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
take it and
Yeah.
be happy with it. I don't know, you really can't do worse than Red Green A Sad Secret,
Yeah.
Yaoi or whatever it's called. You really can't. That had some of the worst handling of like heavy situations. Kind of
Like some of the things you've said though about like his depression have been kind
Yes.
of like some people actually do feel this way. And
Right.
it's not irrational to them at all. I mean, they know it's irrational, but they still feel it anyways.
No, right, I get that.
But we've been kind of, I don't know. Blasé.
How much can you say about a fic where it's constantly repeating itself?
Yeah, it's
That's something I've noticed, is this fic's gotten to a point where it's kind of stuck in a loop. I'm happy about the introduction of White.
I mean, these last couple chapters have been better than the ones like a few
Yeah,
ago.
there was a point where we were literally just looping the same information constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like, what could you say about this? Because it's all the same.
They're still wording things kind of strangely at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and repeating ideas in the same sentence.
Yeah,
But it's getting better. A little.
Yeah, we're still at a
picking
point.
up.
Yeah, we're getting back to that stuff that
we thought was really good.
Right, and I'm really looking forward to seeing like it get better, because as long as they avoid going back to that looping, everything is just repeating what we learned two chapters ago.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. Like this chapter, really good. We learned something important about a major event that has been building up since the start of the show. The fic.
And it's just not. It's not just like reiterating something we already knew.
No, it's like. I mean,
This is new information.
We had predicted it would happen, but this confirmed our predictions. It introduced a new character, Blue's cousin, and an undercover agent.
Even though she announced to
Hoka White,
thing that she
Toka White or whatever.
She announced to like a child and random other
Right,
people that
right.
I'm an undercover agent.
But
Yay.
like we have the introduction of this new character who will play some role in this, because we're calling back to the fact that Green was invited to be a representative.
Oh, yeah.
To the
That I
world
completely forgot
competition.
about it.
Yeah, I remembered that because I was like, that was kind of a key thing. So we're getting callbacks to like things that happened in the past now, which is making it more relevant.
But it's still moving forward.
And the plot is moving, and we've got Gold and Silver both now in the text, completely realizing they've fallen for each other.
But
So
they're
we've
both
got-
stupid still.
But yeah, they're both still being stupid. But we're building it up, and I don't know. I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much more to say to you.
Not really.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Like the video if you liked it, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we have awesome new content coming out every week. If you missed the Friends Forever podcast that should have aired this week, if my
Yes.
brain is right, I'll link that down below. Check it out, because we talk about some pretty cool stuff.
And it's not as bad as the second one.
No, it's not.
The second one was kind of off topic. Like off track. Wait.
Real bad. Also, because the campaign is still going to be happening at this time, our friend Bethany Ketchum is doing a campaign to raise money for child cancer research. Her goal is to raise $1,000. I have the link to her page down below. Please donate to her cause. Any donation is... no donation is too small, is what I want to say. Any donation is appreciated.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on this. We've talked about it on the podcast. I'm sure she's going to talk about it in her own way.
She
on
should eventually
social
make
media.
a post on the Facebook account. for
Yeah,
this.
and she'll have it on her own stuff. Our goal is to help her raise that $1,000, because that's going to
Or
make a
more.
difference in children's lives. Yes, or more is always better.
Yes, more is.
More is always better, but we do have a goal. Please help her reach it. I'm sure we'll be so grateful. Even if we do reach the goal, we could do something special on this channel, but we'll discuss that in a podcast possibly later.
I mean, Bethany's shaving her head for this.
Yeah.
I probably won't do that.
Right, but we can think of something. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, join us next week. I don't know if we're at the point where we're going to have another Clockwork or if we're going to have a different fic. I have to check the scheduling.
We've done like 3.
We'll figure it out. But join us next week. We'll be doing more Fanfiction Friday, as we always do. And until next time, stay awesome, read more smut. Bye.
Bye, my phone.
Bye, my phone. Okay, rip.